we're really excited about the season. I think that the weather we're really looking forward to that, getting out in the sun, and the challenge of our first tournament and our opponents, and we have a challenging schedule overall, something we're really excited about. Both of these two with me here, Camryn and Taylor, are a huge part of that, and we're ready to go. We've prepared well, and we're ready to go, so we're excited.
Holly, kind of the way rosters are now in all sports, you don't know who you're going to have until everybody kind of comes back and decides. Now that you're practicing, how are you, how does your roster look? And is it a little older than maybe what it could have been?
Yeah, we have a couple people that we've added that have kind of mixed in with our decent-sized freshman class, so I think we're both young and old, but I think it's a really good blend. We have a good group of upperclassmen, Camryn being one of our fifth-year people, and then, Roby's an upperclassman at this point too, Taylor. So, yeah, we have a good group of experienced people at the top, and I think it's blending well with our some of our new personnel as well. It's a challenge to come in, and even like Kendall Smith is a transfer from Western Kentucky, and she's also in her fifth year. And as we know from other sports as well, it's a challenge to come in and even though you're experienced, you're in a new environment. So I think that she's done a really good job of acclimating, adapting, but brings good experience to our group, but also it's new for her as well. So there's some of that.
We have a lot of snow and ice here. How important is it to go down to Florida for 2 different stretches and get that work in during the month of February, and what looks like a pretty challenging stretch too?
Yeah. Oh, it's really important. We've been outside here through some of that. We're going outside today, but yeah, it's the game is meant to be played in sometimes we've been very cold while we're out there practicing, so it's certainly more conducive to just success and enjoying the game when you're in a little bit warmer climate. So, but no, we're really excited about it, and I think it's important to our our development and our preseason that I'm happy that we're going to Florida. Maybe we're not going to a Carolina or a Georgia because the weather there can be a little more unpredictable. So, yeah.
Holly, what do you kind of expect from your pitching staff, and kind of take us through what you have there this season?
This is a big part of it right here. Next thing. So I feel like we have a pretty deep staff. Taylor Roby is our returning and has the most kind of experienced return innings. And then in addition to that, Chardonnay Harris is coming back from an off-season surgery that she's rehabbed the heck out of, and we're really excited to have her back. So that's going to be hugely impactful. I think, we've added a freshman in Sam Boo, and she's going to be able to give us some productive innings. And then Gabby Holloway as well. She's a returning sophomore. So I think that core group, and then we also have a couple others in the staff as well, Peyton Hudson and Taja Felder, that can give us some innings. So we have a deep staff. I think we're really strong at the top. I think Chardonnay being able to come back because she's also from the left side, so that's gonna add to our depth a lot. But I think they're ready to go, and that there's going to be, there's coming back from that injury for Chardonnay is going to be a little bit of a, she's been pitching, competitive innings in practice, but seeing her first batters this fall, some of those things. But she's done, this spring, she's done a really good job with that. So, both of these guys can probably attest to that a little bit, but I think we have a really good, strong pitching staff, which is obviously key to any softball or baseball success. So.
Taylor, kind of following up on that, what do you feel like your role is on this staff, and do you feel like it's deeper than it has been?
Yeah, I think it's deeper, and I think we complement each other really well. With our depth being as deep as it is this year, I think we complement each other. During practice, we'll have some days where I'll pitch and I'll start, or I'll be in relief, and it's just the different roles we play as a pitching staff, and I think we do a really good job of that.
Do you see yourself as kind of the leader or kind of the veteran, of that staff?
Yeah, it's really hard because I was really when I came to Louisville, I was a baby. So as I grew, I do think I try to lead and as a best, and I always say I lead by example. I don't like to talk that much, so that's what I think it helps.
For the two players, when you get to this point in preparing for the season, it's right around the corner. What's the emotions, the anxiety? What's it like knowing, okay, we're getting ready to finally get this thing started?
I think it's like really exciting for all of us because you put in all that hard work in the fall and you don't really get to do much with it. But then you come springtime, you only have a month to prepare, and then more exciting, we're going to Florida somewhere warm. So I think nerves are okay in this point because it shows you care. So like I told the freshmen, hey, you'll be nervous, but once you get there, you're going to be excited, and it's worth all the hard work we have put in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all excitement right now. Like, a lot of people, get really flustered when we come back, in the spring because, January is kind of, our, crazy month and, to get prepared. And I just think it's, go time. So as soon as we pitch that first pitch, I think everyone's nerves go away.
And kind of going off of that, last year attendance was limited to about 20% last year at the stadium. How excited are you to looking forward to having a lot more fans at the stadium this year?
I'm excited. I like having people there. It just feels better when you have that big crowd around you and they're excited because we went to some last year that didn't allow any fans. So that was just kind of you don't have that excitement. You don't feel like you're playing for anybody sometimes. So I think as a whole we're all very excited for that.
Camryn, we'll just kind of talk about your being a fifth year, being a leader, kind of coming back. I mean, obviously excited to be back. What went into that decision, and how happy are you now you'd made it?
I had heard about the class coming in this year, and then obviously transfers were added, but I heard that they were really competitive, willing to work hard, and so that was kind of something that pushed me to why not play another season? You get another chance to try to make postseason, and I'm thankful that Coach Holly and the coaching staff did allow me to come back and get to finish the game I love and finish off maybe higher than we did the season before.
Hey Dalton, you're out there. If you want to unmute and ask your question, now's your time.
Holly, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay. You added 2 new assistants to the staff, and Bryce and Aaron. What did they bring to the table respectively and kind of individually as well?
Yeah, all kinds of things. I think, they're I would say a tag team, so they complement one another. I think that they have the same approach and the same hitting style, so they work well as far as what they're teaching the girls. They're very much on the same page, so I think they're heading up primarily the offense, and I think that it certainly allows me as well to be in more places and can kind of to just managing the team in a more, in a better way, I think. And there's always those, you're always kind of looking at those things, analyzing how, from year to year, how the duties of our coaching staff, people's roles, how could we do it better? We're always thinking, how can we do it better? So I think, my goal was to find someone. I think we've found a great coach in Bryce and Aaron, and to find someone that could kind of head up our offensive attack. I still contribute, Griffin still contributes, but the girls have one primary place to go, and I think that's afforded us the ability to really grow as a team and for us to make progress as an overall offense. And I mean, both of these guys can speak to it as well because they're both a huge part of our offense, but yeah, just really, really excited to have them both, and they've done a great job. So.
For anybody, you mentioned the schedule's tough. It's a long season. What are your expectations? What do you guys expect as a group?
I can speak to that first. I build a tough schedule every year because I want to go against the best, and I want the team to share that mental viewpoint, I guess you could say. So that's a part of who we're becoming and who we are. So let's go in there and see how we match up. And I think that, that's something that, you kind of gauge that with the team that you have. If you think you have a very young group, a freshman group you want to kind of ease them into it. So you might not say, okay, let's start with the number 1 team in the country the first weekend. You kind of you don't want to do those kind of things. But I think we have a good group in place that knows what we need to do. Carmen and Taylor leading the way on that and knows what to expect and can help prepare our younger people for what we're about to go do. And I think they want that challenge. There's certainly, some, through the preparation and things like that, there's, you're nervous and you're excited, but they want that challenge. And that's a part of, where this program is headed and what we want to do. So.
Top off of her, I do agree that as a player, it helps us all when you start off the season with a top 25 or a higher opponent. So when you do hit that team later in the season, it's not the first time you've experienced it as a team, especially being a freshman or underclassman, it's scary when you, Valerie Cagle, it's terrifying when you haven't seen somebody like that yet. But then us playing that, like Arkansas, Florida, it helps prepare you when you get there. It's like, I've already experienced it. I'm not worried. Like, let's just get this done.
Any other virtual questions? Come on, Suzanne, ask some.
Hello there, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
So, Coach, you talked at the batter up brunch about playing hard, being accountable. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that and how, Taylor and Camryn are really, embodying that, or who else has really embraced that mantra and what that means to the team?
Yeah, sure. That's like that motto is at the heart of what we're about. So play hard is full on effort with everything that you're doing, and that is represented like how Taylor said that it's about leading by example and showing that example. So you're full effort all the time in everything that you're doing. Of course, we're going to make mistakes. Of course, we're going to have some setbacks, but the effort and the attitude that we go about doing our business is what matters. So, and that translates into the physical nature of the game as well. So, and Camryn embodies that as well. So I think the play hard is like, that's us, diving for every ball. That's us, gosh, it's seen in so many ways, but that's us like getting ahead of batters. Like play hard, like do the things that you, like be ready to do the things that you prepare to do, and don't make excuses for yourself. Don't, talk about the umpire. Don't talk about anything that's that is not you. So owning what you're doing. And then that's the accountable piece as well. So if we can do that, not make excuses, not place blame, and just own everything that you're doing, it goes to the way that we're playing the game. And that's something that is very important to me that I emphasize all the time, is like, it's not we do need to execute physical skills, but it's how we're doing it, not what we're doing. Like every team goes out and practices, everybody's preparing, and you could look at across the board at every sport across America, like everybody prepares. Some people, obviously prepare better than others with game plans and things like that. Like that's in the heart of coaching, but people are all doing the same things. Like you could take the same drill and we could implement it different because of how we're doing it, not what we're doing. So that's at the heart of what those things are, and then being accountable for what you're doing. Without